Alright guys, welcome to Unit 5. Unit 5 is all about circular motion and gravitation. Now admittedly some of these topics were covered back in Unit 3 videos. To be fair, our instructors covered those topics in Unit 3. I don't know why they did that, but they did. I rolled with it. I made those videos under Unit 3. I don't really feel like re-uploading and tweaking the ending phrases and all that. So I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to leave this under Unit 3. I will have those videos linked down in the description though. This first video out of only 2 videos is going to just cover some new formulas and stuff. Something really crazy. But yeah, let's jump right into it. The first formula is pretty straightforward. It is just F is equal to N over T. In this case, F is the frequency. Let me write that down. F is the frequency, and the frequency has the units of hertz. And hertz is just basically the revolutions per second. Thus, as you can probably assume, N is going to be revolutions, and T is the total time elapsed. Or another way to think about it is the total time elapsed for the total number of revolutions. So if I had I don't know, let's go with 8 revolutions in 10 seconds, then my frequency would be 0.8, because 8 divided by 10, 0.8. The next formula is also pretty simple. Big T is equal to just 1 over F. Now, F, as we already know from before, is frequency, so I'll just do a little arrow. That is the worst arrow ever. That's a little better. And then T is equal to the period. Period is just another way to, think about or express, how often it does, it goes around in a revolution. In this case, the period is the time it takes for one revolution, and because it is in time, it has the units of seconds. Now, as you can see here, time and frequency are just inverses of each other, so that makes it really easy to just, find one if you happen to know the other. Certain formulas require you to have different things. Most of them require the period. And questions might give you the frequency when you need the period, or it might give you the period when you might need the frequency. Just know that they're inverses of each other, so that makes it really easy to find. So, for example, going back to my previous example, my frequency was 0.8 because 8 revolutions in 10 seconds. That means the period is going to be the inverse of 8 over 10, which is equal to 10 over 8, or 1.25. One more formula here. V is equal to 2 pi r over t. Why are there so many dots there? Let me get rid of those. Now, again, as you know here, t is the period. So I'll do another arrow there. R is the radius of the circular path. Circular path. And v is equal to tangential velocity. I never know if I'm saying that right, but I'll just roll with it. Tangential velocity. So the reason why this works is because velocity, as we know, is just distance over time. In a circle, the distance happens to be the circumference of that circle, which is expressed as 2 pi r in this case. And t is just the total time it takes to go around that whole circle, which is the period. So this is actually a fairly intuitive formula, but, it's just nice to, have it written down and stuff. Of course, we know that the centripetal acceleration happens to also include a v squared, so you could rearrange that to solve for v, and then those values would, of course, be equal to each other. But again, finding this tangential velocity just depends on what information you're given. You might be given the period and the radius, in which case you'd be like, okay, I will consider going for, this formula that I have on the screen. If you're given, the magnitude of a certain force, and that force happens to be, the centripetal force, and you're given the radius, you might go down the centripetal force path. It all just depends on the information you're given. Anyway, these are the 3 new formulas that you should remember for Unit 5. Next video is going to be practice problems. I I couldn't think of many practice problems this time, so I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like doing a document with 2 practice problems. That's a little pointless. Like, I might as well do a video on it. So that's what the next video is. I will see you there then.